Lads, welcome back to a brand new video. Myself and Hal have just done a watch-along live on YouTube. We are obviously now doing the match reaction to Derby County 0, Sheffield United 2, that took place at Pride Park. So, what do we think, Hal?
There were times, Nick, where the game was as flat as my hair, but there were other times where they hit us on the break. Certainly first half, I know you and I were watching along on the watch-along, and it was a bit of biting nails time. They had one or two chances, overhead kick in the first half, which I think you were quite impressed with, weren't you?
Yeah, Jack Marriott. I think every time he went forward, he looked dangerous, but he just didn't seem to have anyone kind of backing him up. There was a couple of times where a couple of players kind of got free, but then kind of turned back and looked for more support. I think they kind of caught us on the break quite a few times early on, but we certainly had the most of the ball for pretty much all the match.
Really interesting was to see how they decided to attack down George Baldock's right-hand side, because the team was Wes Foderingham in goal, getting his first start as a Blades goalkeeper, albeit in a friendly. Then your back three of Chris Basham, Phil Jagielka and Jack Robinson. The wing-backs were George Baldock, and then on the left, the reason I bring this up was youngster Rhys Norrington-Davies. Very excited to see him play. I think we both agree was very steady, didn't do anything wrong. In the midfield, Regan Slater, Ollie Norwood and Ben Osborne. So quite a defensive three across there. And then Billy Sharp up front with Lys Mousset, who started very brightly. But Derby County decided to attack down George Baldock's side rather than regularly test a young, slightly less experienced left wing-back in Norrington-Davies. And I found that really quite a strange decision, but maybe that's because Derby County are stronger on their left-hand side.
Yeah, completely agree. Possibly they are better down the left, but at the same time, I would have liked to have seen them attack down kind of Norrington-Davies' wing, because I would have liked to have seen him tested. Because obviously with Anthony Robinson going to Fulham, he was definitely one of our biggest targets this summer. And yeah, obviously with us not getting him, it would have been nice to see if he could kind of hack it. I don't think we're going to really see it. We've only got one more game to see him, but I don't know whether... I think Stevens probably will still be on international duty at that time, so maybe we will see more of him. But yeah, it was definitely a weird choice for them to kind of go down George Baldock's side all the time.
Yeah, and I think like with the left side, for us, you're right, we wanted to see more of Norrington-Davies. Whilst I said he was steady, didn't do anything wrong, you're right, we didn't get enough opportunities to see how he could handle a particularly pacey and ferocious right winger, because he just didn't have as much coming down his side. He did fine, as I say, didn't do anything wrong. He had that comfort blanket of Ben Osborne right next to him, and Ben was tenacious, he was tough in the tackle, he was really everywhere. He probably tired in the second half, but up until that point was definitely the best player on the pitch for the Blades. Early on, I already mentioned that Lys Mousset looked like a live wire, was very dangerous, had a few chances, but also seemed to tire and was replaced by Ollie McBurney, who's also himself just coming back from injury at the start of the second half. But first half, you'd probably say overall, much more even game than we started to see in the second. And of course, we did have the goal.
Yeah, definitely. As you alluded to, Ben Osborne was everywhere today. Everywhere. And it's great to see, and we said in the stream, it's just a bit gutting that he's always going to be behind John Fleck, with John Fleck being one of our best players, if not our best. But yeah, he definitely did himself justice today with how he played. Like you said earlier in the stream as well, Norrington-Davies, he always had Ben Osborne there at his side, and he felt safe because, Ben Osborne was, like I said, everywhere, getting stuck in, getting those last-ditch tackles, and then not just booting it out of play or booting it up the field, actually looking for a pass, which, yeah, it was great all day long. Obviously, he picked up the first goal with a lovely finish in the bottom corner, just passed it into the bottom corner. I don't know if the goalkeeper, his positioning maybe wasn't the best, because it certainly wasn't a screamer, was it, Hal?
I mean, initially when we saw it, we might have thought it was better than it was.
An absolute screamer.
When you saw it again on the replay, you're quite right to say he passed it into the back of the net. He was sort of 12 yards out, left footer, and put it into the bottom corner. It might have taken a slight deflection. I'll have to see it again. But, right place, right time, and a comfortable finish. And at that point, it had been deserved. The Blades were probably, though, still in third gear for the most of I would say the whole first half, and then really went through the gears second half into a very dominant second half performance off the back of that Ben Osborne goal.
Yeah, I thought after that first goal, I think that kind of put Derby County on the back foot. We went from strength to strength, like you've just said. Because really, Derby, all they were doing were trying to catch us on the break. It seemed like that from early on. But then, in the second half, Derby were having 10, 11 men behind the ball. And it just felt a bit like a kind of Brazil against Macedonia sort of game.
I
really
thought
was.
you put it better in the stream when you said it was like an FA Cup quarter-final, because it did feel like that. But at no point did it feel like Sheffield United were the away side. We were camped in their half for long periods and not really like forcing lots of shots and drawing the keeper into save after save. Just comfortable possession, keeping it, passing it, nice short moves. Lovely to see, and not sitting back on that 1-0 lead, going for the jugular, going for a second, and then when we did get the second, going for the third. I mean, I would love to see Sheffield United continue in that vein in the Premier League.
Yeah, and not just that. It wasn't just about the goals that we scored. McBurney charging a ball down right like with a minute to go, knocking people off the ball, and it's great to see. Obviously, it's only a pre-season friendly, but they're playing it like it's a Premier League game, and that's just what Chris Wilder kind of cements in, and is like, this is how we play football, and that's what you like to see. You don't want none of this kind of, it's only a pre-season friendly, we're 2-0 up, let's just kind of sit back. We don't want to watch that. We don't want to watch Blades kind of going 2-0 up and then just sitting back and, oh dear, we've conceded a goal towards the end of the game. We want to go and beat these teams, because this is what makes you into a Premier League team when you are going to, because let's be honest, Derby are a decent Championship football inside. So if you're going to Derby and beating them 2-0 in a pre-season friendly, it's always going to help kind of morale, isn't it?
Yeah, we saw aggression from George Baldock. Not that that's ever a surprise. Him and Louis Sibley got in amongst it together. There was a great tackle from Ollie Norwood. He was putting himself about. It was all over the pitch. There was players that were saying, right, you know what, let's get stuck in. Ollie McBurney, even right at the end, getting involved. The substitutions as well in the second half really changed the game. We mentioned that Norrington Davis was steady. He was very much a steady Eddie because he didn't have as much to do as I'm sure he'd have liked to do, but he didn't put a foot wrong. Then on came Keane Bryan, the forgotten man, playing left wing back, a position I've never seen him play before. He normally plays centre back on that left-hand side, the Jack Robinson, Jack O'Connell position, but his name's not Jack, so he doesn't get to play there. And he played really well and put in a couple of really good crosses, including a cross for a wonderfully worked team goal, which was our second.
Yep, and who else would have put that in the back of the net other than Billy Sharp? I said in the stream that, Billy Sharp was stood in the box waiting for it, but he's not, is he? He's always moving. The defenders never know where he is. That's why he gets these tap-ins. All throughout his career, he's scored lots and lots of tap-ins, but you can't just say every single ball is just a perfect ball onto his head or his foot. He's always moving. It's really difficult to mark him. It was an excellently worked goal, and we probably could have made it 3, 4, 5 throughout the game. I thought we were excellent today. Excellent in parts, shall I say. I think some parts we might have given a ball away a bit too softly sometimes. And I do think two of the players probably it weren't their best game they've ever had. Would you like to hazard a guess at those, Hal?
Well, I mean, it's quite interesting because, I mentioned that Lys Mousset started very well, but then he got fatigued. So I wouldn't say that he's one of the ones that you're thinking of. I thought Regan Slater was quiet, but again, a bit like Norrington Davis, didn't really have too much to do. Phil Jagielka made 1 or 2 good interceptions, but also was at the end taking a very heavy touch that nearly led to a Derby attack. And Wes Foderingham handled the ball outside the area, which led to a totally unnecessary Derby free kick, which could have at the time given them the lead. So that would probably be my guesses of Jags and Foderingham.
Yeah, that's right. Jags, a couple of bad touches that could have led to, if it was kind of like an Aguero kind of running at you rather than with no disrespect to Derby, but obviously it's easier to kind of sort your feet out when you've got a Derby player coming at you rather than kind of like a Salah or Mane or Aguero or whatever. But yeah, Jags definitely had a couple of fumbles in his locker today, and yeah, Fotheringham, he handled the ball outside the area. Obviously, that could have ended up in a goal, and also Jags kind of tried to shepherd a ball back to him, and he kind of, I don't think he really felt that comfortable coming, and then when he did, he just sliced it out of play. He didn't. I don't think he had a save to make today, to be honest. I think he had the overhead kick from Marriott that just went over the bar. I think he might have had it covered, but other than that, I don't remember him making a save.
No, you're not wrong. I don't think he had anything to do. And yeah, that shepherding back from Jags and then that slice kick from Fotheringham, that was really early on at the start of the game, and we were thinking, oh, this is a bit shaky. But actually, we looked very steady. We've now kept 2.5 clean sheets in our 45 minutes against Dundee United, the win against Hearts, and of course this very good win against, as you say, a decent side, Derby County, managed by a World Cup player in Philip Cocu. He's no mug. He played for PSV, Eindhoven, and Barcelona, amongst others. So he knows what he's doing. He knows his football. I would say second half, we had another chance with a back pass that was a very strange one, because we saw the replay and actually even we couldn't tell from seeing it twice if it was a back pass or if Ollie McBurney had kicked the ball to the Derby goalkeeper. But it was given, and that was just on the sort of, we say, just 10 yards out, something like that.
Something like that, kind of on the angle.
And we kind of made a bit of a meal of it. It wasn't a Sheringham Shearer against Georgia situation, as you referenced in the stream. It was Ollie Norwood who smashed it, but with that many bodies back, it was always just going to keep ricocheting until Derby eventually cleared it. So, yeah, it's a shame. That was definitely a good opportunity, and you don't really get to see too many of those free kicks inside the box.
No, it's always exciting, isn't it? Even if watching as a neutral to see a free kick inside the box, especially when it was so close. It wasn't kind of like on the penalty spot. It was just outside the 6-yard box, really.
Well, it was too close, wasn't it, really? Sometimes you think that's just no way you can get it in the angle there. And the other one, which I think you were very excited about at the time, and we were both critical, was Billy Sharp should have scored again.
Yeah, when he tried to chip it over the goalkeeper, and then it landed straight back to him with an open net. Billy Sharp should be putting them away every day of the week, really. If anyone, you'd expect Billy Sharp to put them away. So I think it kind of dropped to him. A defender was trying to get back on the line, and then he kind of just, I don't know, made a bit of a meal of it, really. Kind of sliced it a bit off his foot. So it's one of them things. It's we're still in pre-season, aren't we? There was another one that McBurney missed as well. The ball came into the box. The keeper kind of came into no man's land, and then McBurney headed it over the bar, kind of landed on the roof of the net. So yeah, it's one of them things. We've got to kind of take the rough with the smooth, and I think today we were definitely by far the better team. Yeah,
I would say the word that I keep thinking of when I think of this game is comfortable.
Absolutely, yeah, so comfortable it was today. I think they did scare us, like we said, a little bit early on, and every now and then they might get a bit of a breakaway, but they never looked like scoring a goal, really. Like we said, they didn't make Fotheringham do anything. I can't remember a time where I was really nervous. So, yeah, it was kind of a run-of-the-mill victory in pre-season, which is always nice to see. So, yeah, like you said, we've played 3 games, we've won 3 games, and we've conceded 0 goals. So that's what you like to see.
Absolutely. I'm over the moon with that. Delighted. That whole pre-season that we've had so far. We've got Preston coming up next. That'll be another tough test. Derby gave us, as you say, a couple of scares, but they're the home team. The onus is on them to come and attack, and we dealt with them. And again, we look so good at the back. And we've got to remember, we were playing our reserve central defender in Phil Jagielka, the backup for Egan. Jack Robinson, again, a backup. And the ever-present Chris Basham, again with a new goalkeeper. And we still looked very, very comfortable. It's really encouraging. I'm really happy with how pre-season's gone. I think, like all Blades, we'd just like to see maybe 1 or 2 signings, and certainly at the top of the pitch.
Absolutely. And if we can finish it off against Preston kind of with another clean sheet, maybe 1 or 2 goals, that'd be excellent. So thank you very much for watching. I think that's about it. There's not too many analytics to really go into. There's no point in going into the stats and stuff like that, because it is a pre-season game after all. There are going to be passes that go astray. There are going to be poor crosses. There are going to be chances that you think you should score and you don't. We've been there watching the game. Obviously now we're reacting to it. We are going to be doing a watch along live on Friday at 2 p.m. So if you want to come and join us, that would be excellent. We will be doing another match reaction after that one as well. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thank you as well, Hal, for being here again.
Of course, thank you for having me.
See you next time. Stay Ingood Nick.
Look at that ping from Norwood. Makes other teams look no good. We've got a team full of leaders. Alan Hill, Chris Wilder taught us. Yeah, there was us on the tour bus. Look how many goals Billy scored us. It's beautiful downtown Bromley Lane. We are the boys from Shore.